Good evening and welcome to Off the Lip, the show about surfing and skateboarding. If you'd like to join the show tonight, give us a call at 831-479-1080. That's 831-479-1080. And now, here are your hosts for tonight's program, Neil Perlberg and Terry Campion.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Off the Lip Radio Show, broadcasting from Santa Cruz, California, right here on KSCO 1080 AM and now FM 104.1. And tonight we are streaming live on SantaCruzWaves.com. So if you're going to check us out, see what's going on in the studio, SantaCruzWaves.com. We're on Facebook, we're Instagramming, we're tweeting. We're doing it all.
Yes.
And you can call in tonight. I think you're going to need to call in tonight because we have a very, very special guest. A gentleman I've wanted to have on this show for a long, long time finally broke down and said yes.
How much did you bug him?
I sent him $3.
Nice.
I was good to go.
$3?
Yeah. The phone number to call in this evening is 831-47. You guys know the phone number. TC, you know the phone number?
479-1080. By the way, 104.1 sounds crystal clear.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've been listening to it on FM. We are now on FM. It's great.
In studio this evening, our famed guest, busy taking photos.
To go do some selfies.
Selfies.
What would you expect?
Is Mr. Frank Quirarte. Now, Frank, if anybody does not know Frank, and maybe some of the audience does not know Frank has spent as many hours at the famed break at Mavericks as probably anybody else. Would that be a true statement, Frank?
Pretty close. 20 years plus.
20 years as the, I would say, lead photographer?
Yeah.
Or one of the main photographers at Mavericks?
It's just overseer.
Right.
Maybe
overseer.
the most frames shot at Mavericks.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know. Doug Acton could definitely give me a run for my money.
Doug and you.
Doug's
Nelly?
not here.
How about Nelly?
Yeah, I should add Doug. Nelly too. Nelly's just coming from Santa Cruz, we can get out there easily.
Yeah, you can get out there quicker. And also, you're part of the
Not
rest.
to mention Nelly's a great photographer and
It's a pain in the butt.
Great golfer. Third place.
No, I saw him Sunday.
Third place.
Bud Freitas came in first.
I know.
Santa Cruz City Open champion.
You won that once, right?
I did. I won it twice.
Yeah, twice?
Mm-hmm. Back to back.
Look at it. Bud's got his money cut right now. He's got to do it again.
He's got to do it again. Otherwise, you know what they are? Nothing. Frank, also rescue, Frank. You're part of the rescue team at Mavericks, correct?
I am.
So you got to put the camera down and go get these guys that are stuck in the...
Takes a minute for the wipeout to happen, so you have a little bit of time to stow your gear and race in if need be.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
So we
That's
just literally had a show outside of the studio talking to Frank.
It's very interesting, his story.
So let's go from the beginning.
I mean, that's actually a pretty good place to start, Frank. Maybe how you got involved at Mavericks and what made you become the guy who's taking the most photos.
And also, what does Mavericks mean? That wave must mean a lot to you.
It does.
It's a lot of people got their fingers in the pie at that place.
Yep.
And I'm sure you want people just to leave the damn thing alone. And what does that wave mean to you as well?
It's just been an amazing part of my life for the past 20-something years. Something I can't even explain how I got there, what attracted me to it. It just became all-encompassing. Every, thread of my life was Mavericks and big wave surfing at this point. Yeah, it's been a jumping-off point for just an incredible career up to this point.
Can you remember the first time you saw it?
I remember.
And who took you?
Clark.
Jeff Clark took you out?
Took me out. We were on a Zodiac, and, I was friends with his girlfriend at the time, and I had talked my way into the whole, just weave my way in that whole scene, and she introduced me to him, and I've known about him. I surfed on the coast my whole life, and, he's been surfing with our guys, some of the Pacifica guys. And once we met, and, he kind of was okay with me. He's always a little, little protected
what
on
year
who
was
he rolls
that?
in. God, I can't. I've had to say somewhere like 95.
Okay, so it's a few years ago.
It's an interesting part of Mavericks history because the Zodiac is what everyone used.
Jeff,
pre-jet ski.
And Jeff's Zodiac, too. His was definitely a famous Zodiac because those guys would just go everywhere and anywhere that thing. No holds bar with that boat.
People
and
forget
it showed
that.
signs of it, too. That's what was part of the excitement, part of the draw. I mean, having that boat, and it wasn't the best boat in the water, and so that alone was a scary part. But being out at Mavericks in it, I mean,
Did you get on the boat originally, the Zodiac, to take photographs, or
Yeah,
were you
no.
there as a surfer?
no, I was just to take photographs.
back
I just
then-
became one of Jeff's apprentices basically, and
Okay.
went out there, and I would never consider myself a Maverick surfer, not even today. You know, I like big waves, but it's relative to me. You know, what's big to let's say Peter Mel or Twiggy or Greg Long. You know, to me is way over my head. So,
Right.
you know, maybe a good 15-foot wave
And
with a
back then
20-foot face.
Back then, you had to use film.
Yeah, all
right?
film, all
So
slide.
were you kind of
35 millimeter slide film.
So were you kind of cautious of what you took, because now you can just snap away with a digital camera? You know, before did you have kind of
Well, at the beginning, those Doug Acton was out there, Don Montgomery. These guys are my friends. I made and I made friends with the ones that I hadn't met, like Vern Fisher. You know, Vern from down here. I think he's kind of stepped off, but his tutelage was just I can't even tell you what that guy had done for me. He taught me how to they trained the monkey. You know, I was not a photographer.
Right.
I was only a recreational photographer, and we were getting some shots, Jeff and I, but we weren't doing anything with it. We weren't doing it right, and those guys showed us how to do it right.
If people at home right now, can they go to your website and just kind of, while listening to the show, check out your photography?
Oh yeah,
is there
for
a
sure.
What's
Yep,
your website?
www.mavsurfer.com.
Okay, so check out mavsurfer.com. You can see what the kind of photographs that Mr. Quirate's taken, and we're very honored to have him here.
Yeah,
I love
it's
you. Call me
great.
Mr. Karate. All my friends. That's where growing up. We're the Karate boys.
You're the Karate
Frank
boys.
Karate, Dave Karate, Joe Karate, Jim Karate. Yeah.
How's the
Good
wave? Has the wave since you first went out there in the early '90s? Has the wave changed at all?
The wave itself doesn't change. I mean, the reef doesn't change. It may, some small nuances of it, but it's still just that big wave. Different years we've had different like El Niños and La Niñas that change the look of it.
Yep.
But basically, it's the same. We get 3 or 4 different looks in a season. You know, it could be really muddy and chocolatey. It could be clear. It could be turquoise blue like Hawaii. I mean, you do get a few different looks during
Okay.
the year, depending on the time of the year. So
Do you remember what time was it its most dangerous? Do you remember the year?
for
or
myself, or
just for the whole everyone, that vibe in the air. Where
I
like,
think it was that when it just started really ramping up in that 1998, 99 El Nino year. And it was super dangerous. A lot more people were showing up that probably shouldn't have been out there. And then Quicksilver came in to run the first contest because of a lot of that hype. And just more and more people were showing up, so things started getting a little bit sketchy, as far
Right.
as,
Well, the crowd got way bigger
oh my gosh.
because it used to
Yeah.
be you could not
No, it
go
was-
on the bad ones. People are going on bad waves now.
Right. Well, they've always done that. There's never been a lack of that, but it's I mean, that again, it was all relative. Like, oh my God, there's 15 people out here. And like now, there's 70 people out
Right,
there.
right.
So we just watched it grow. Even the contest, there's 5 boats out there. First contest. Now there's 50 boats out there.
Right.
So
If you are just joining us, listening to the Off Lit Radio Show on KSCO, here tonight with Mr. Frank Quirarte, who's spent more time at Mavs than probably anybody that we know.
More frames.
More frames, taking more
Frames
shots
per
at
second.
Mavericks than anybody. I'm going to get through the show. We've got a lot of to talk about with Frank tonight. The greatest surfer you saw out there was?
the greatest I saw out
I
there.
know there's
Oh man, you really put me on the spot.
I know.
right now.
I put you in a spot till 8 o'clock tonight, so get used to it.
All right, I think
Are we going
I'll say one of the greatest surfers out there, which is also one of my greatest friends, is Peter Mel. Watch that guy perform out there. It's amazing to see, he's just, there's always 1 or 2 guys who are just 10 steps ahead of somebody else, the next group of good surfers. And then, we would go out there, once I was like really involved in the photography and we need to get a shot, we need to get a shot. And there's a handful of guys out there that would surf well,
Yep.
but they weren't Peter Mel and they weren't Flea, or they weren't these guys. And then like those 2 would show up, or, the Skin Dogs, and then something's going to happen. Those guys are going to go out to Mavericks and make it happen. That's all there is to it. And he was the one. Because he was like the leader. He took the lead role in that whole pack.
Right.
And he finally got a
lots of
title.
waves.
He got his
Right.
time.
Yeah.
And the most harrowing moment for you, that time, the most harrowing moment for you was when?
I think myself personally was, we were we had just received these jet skis from Kawasaki. Beautiful. You know, they gave us 4 jet skis, but they weren't really skis. They weren't ocean-going jet skis. And we were doing rescues on them and learning how to do it. And I went in to do a rescue. One of the guys had wiped out, you know. And we already know these skis were a little bit sketchy. And it was a 40-foot, you know, set that came through. And I picked him up, gets on the sled. Sled just starts spinning out. I'm like, oh, I'm going to pay it right here. I'm going to pay my dues. And I was scared, but I was kind of excited. And I'm like, we're going to get out of this because we've done it before. We can ride out. But the sled just flew up. The wave hit us, flew through him against me. The thing just goes head over TKL, you know, and just knocks us both. I want to not swear right now. So it's hard to talk and not swear. I'm trying to think of my words. And
you did much better than the guys last week.
Right, I'm trying not to. You gave me the heads up, so I'm not going to do it. And set me straight to the bottom because I have no leash, right?
Right.
I have no board to like hold me up or climb a leash to get out of there. And it just held me down. And I opened my eyes and it was black, right? And you're just like, I'm a diver too, so I understand neutral buoyancy. And that's what it felt like because it wasn't letting me up. It was not going to let me up. I wasn't going to swim up against it. And then it just let me up. And then I was really relieved until I popped my head up and I see the rocks right from here to the wall. You know, I'm like,
Right.
oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And then I hear Jeff coming in. I'm like, okay, all right.
He got you.
Yeah.
How
Went in,
big?
changed
How
my
big?
wetsuit, came back out.
How big was it to have skis to deal the huge change in the dynamic of Mavericks to have
Oh,
skis?
no, they changed the whole entire level of surfing out there.
You miss seeing guys getting towed in?
I never was a humongous fan because I didn't think it was gonna last, because watching these guys use it as a stepping stone to like learn or feel what they can actually surf on if they had to paddle into it. So I think that's the way I looked at it. I'm like, this is not gonna last.
Right.
This is gonna be great, but there's surfers are gonna catch up and paddle beyond it.
Yeah.
And they were doing that even when they were tow surfing.
Yeah.
Like there were still some holdouts that were like, we're not going to tow surf. We're
Yeah.
going to do what those guys are doing.
Yeah.
They just didn't have the ability to do it. And once Peter Mells and Twiggies and Greg Long, these guys started like, okay, let's do it.
Right.
Let's try it. These guys, and then the band came on jet skis, so it kind of helped it, like kind of shove them off to the side. And yeah, they paddled right by the whole towing movement.
Before we go to commercial, just want to thank Frank for coming back on the show.
Mhm.
Listen to Frank Quirarte tonight, one of the main photographers at Mavericks. We've got a lot of stories to tell. We're going to come back and talk about what's going on at Mavericks today and in the future. Before we go to commercial, this portion of the show is brought to you by Slider Town. Slider Town shirts featuring all the breaks in Santa Cruz, from Steamer Lane down to Capitola, 2-6, The Hook, Pleasure Point. Great t-shirts, great sweatshirts, great gear, all available at Santa Cruz Boardroom, at the Santa Cruz Apparel, down there in Pac Wave, and out in Santa Cruz Wharf. Thank you, Slider Town. Thanks, Kevin, for supporting the After the Radio Show. We really appreciate it, and we'll be right back after this very, very short break. Don't go away.
This is Numa and Isaac from Aloha Island Grill. Well, summer's right around the corner here in Santa Cruz, and that means one thing. It's time to come get your grind on at the Aloha Island Grill.
Come over to Aloha Island Grill and eat some food.
We're located on the corner of Portola and 17th Avenue, and we've got a beautiful lanai for you to come sit out on. We've got a fine assortment of plate lunch, fresh ahi poke, and other wonderful treats for you to enjoy.
My favorite food at Aloha Island Grill is Kalua Pig.
We've got ice cold beer and wine for those hot summer days, and try some of our homemade POG, passion orange guava juice. It's delicious. For to-go orders, give us a call at 479-3299. Find us on the web at alohaislandgrill.com or come on down to 1700 Portola Drive. Aloha Island Grill is a proud member of Think Local First.
There we go. And we're back. You're listening to the Off the Radio Show here on Tuesday night on KSCO 1080 AM and 104.1 FM. You can also watch us on SantaCruzWaves.com. We are live streaming. I want to thank Chad for being here every
Nice job,
Tuesday
Chad.
night. He makes the live stream work.
I like it.
Finally.
Finally. It took a long time.
Yeah.
We're back, though.
Can I mention my roller SUP video went viral? The one of Luke Rockhold went freaking viral.
You went viral.
And the Santa Cruz Derby girls where I skated. I got my ass
You
handed
landed.
to me.
No, not only that, you landed on your ass.
Did you see that?
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, that didn't. The GoPro in my back. I landed on my back with the GoPro in the back. Oh, that didn't.
Those
feel
girls made you slam.
Good. Yeah, they hurt me.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that out. So SantaCruzWaves.com is also on YouTube.
Yeah.
This portion of the show is brought to you by one of our favorite. Can't have a favorite.
How many favorites do we have?
Felix from Sand Dollar Surfboard Repair, and his brother Mark Alfaro is a
Shreds out there at Mavs.
Amazing
Shred-
Maverick surfer for sure.
amazing map surfer, right? So good shout out for
He's just
Mark.
an all around
Great guy.
waterman. Yeah,
Great
he's
guy.
super
We had him
great
on the
guy.
show.
They
Mark's
were great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Felix, if you got a board that's dinged, smacked, broken,
Gashed.
twisted, gashed,
Yeah.
not working properly,
He will fix it.
pronto.
Super pronto.
722-4060. That is Felix from Sand Dollar Surfboard Repair.
You
Did
can-
you check out? Wait a minute. Did you check out his photos from the lightning photos he took the
Oh,
other night?
he's a great photographer
Oh
too.
my God.
Yeah, he's been very into his photography lately, and he's doing a nice job. So, but you can get him at dingrepair.net also
You
on
can?
the World Wide Web. Yes.
Where are we going now with Frank? Our guest tonight, by the way, Frank Quirarte.
I know.
in
Yeah.
Studio.
Well, it's interesting. I wanted to get back to that first time when Jeff Clark took you under his wing and said, "Hey, I'm going to show you the ropes." Who were the guys back then? I mean, we always it was Richie and Tom Powers. I guess might have been around during that time too, but.
It was all those guys, Vince,
Mhm.
Richie, that whole Santa Cruz crew. But then there was a whole city crew that were the journeymen of
Doc.
Doc Reinecker, Grant Washburn, Jeff Harrison. There's a whole handful of guys that were just charging part of Jeff's regular crew.
Sean
Rhodes, Jim Kibblewhite, Brent Heckerman. Just that whole once he let the cat out of the bag. Those guys didn't come up as often as they did, but so. It was Sean Rhodes and Matt Ambrose and Jim Kibblewhite. There's like a stalwart crew that would go out with Jeff. They were all most of them from Pacifica.
Right.
Because there just wasn't a lot of big wave surfers over there in Half Moon Bay. At the
Well, I
time.
remember when Darren Bingham got the cover.
And Darren.
Yeah.
Jim Chogus.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
Jogi,
names.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Darren, when he got the cover, it seemed to really bring it into the limelight.
Yeah.
Because was that the first
I think it
cover?
was 1992 or something
yeah,
like that.
maybe the first Mavericks cover.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
And Don Montgomery, he got the first shot of Clark. It was I think it wasn't a cover shot, but the very first shot was a big 2-page spread. I think they called it Cold Sweat. And Don got a beautiful shot from the cliff. And
Well, it's
just nailed
interesting.
it.
A quick Jeff Clark story. I used to put on a lot of contests up the coast when I was the Victory wetsuit rep, and Jeff would show up with these boards because they wouldn't fit in his car, and he didn't want to leave them on the highway. So he'd walk down the beach with these two 11-foot surfboards, and it's like 2 feet. And we're just like looking at him like he was crazy.
Yeah.
And that was before the cat was out of the bag. No one knew what he was doing with these huge
Right.
surfboards. And he was out there by himself.
What about the women out there? I mean, TC and I have supported women out there, and how do you feel about the women out there with Bianca Valente and Savannah Shaughnessy and
Oh,
Sarah
you got to go
Gerhardt?
back to Sarah Gerhardt. She was
Sarah-
the be in the contest.
No matter what
Like
you
look
were.
at Kiala Kenny's doing what she did at Chopu.
Right.
Should
Yeah.
she be in any man's contest? Of course.
Yes, of course. She's
Hold
killing
her
her
own. She'll hold her own with anybody.
Right.
Well, I think the issue has always been the time of having a contest and trying to run a women's contest.
Or
and
should they belong?
you
Should
know,
they be in
yeah.
the same heats with the men?
Right. I mean, if they're skilled, if they're as skilled as whoever else, if they belong in that heat, then they belong in that heat.
Okay.
But to put them in there just because they're a woman, who's to say? Or to
Right.
have their own separate event, who's to say? I mean, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
They're getting there. They're not waiting for us or anybody else to decide.
Okay.
They're like Bianca and some of those girls.
Bianca shreds.
Yeah, and Savannah. They're all going out there and putting in their time and paying their dues, and they get beat down just like the rest of the guys. And they'll eventually be good enough to be considered for that event.
Okay.
I think the
Not
difference,
because they're a woman, on their own merits as a good surfer.
the difference I think will be is if some company comes and says, "Here's $500,000. I want a women's contest."
Right. Well, there is something like that. I don't. Didn't you have the girls down here?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and I can't remember the name of the sponsor, but they have somebody who put up some money and they just ran their own event on their
That's
own
right.
on their own
it
time.
was a video event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a video
Yeah.
event, right?
They just went out there and I think they gauged the entire season. All the
Well, that was our event. We did the Queen of
Well,
Men's.
no, that was
I know. It was, who put that together?
some video company. I
Yeah.
forget,
Can't
some women's
remember.
video company.
Right,
I forget
yeah.
the name of it now.
I apologize to
But
them.
we
if
ran
they're
the
out
only
there listening.
contest at Mavericks this year.
We did.
We did.
Question: Where the heck is Mavericks today? I mean, I know they got a 5-year extension on their. Where do you think that thing? It just seems to be. There seems to be a rift. It doesn't seem to be. Can you answer that question as far as
It's
Where
hard
does
to
this-
say. You know
Yeah,
that
we're
that event
confused.
has seriously been cursed since the
Since day one?
inception. Yeah, since the and who knows why? You know, there could be a million answers to that question, but regardless of what or who are the motivating factor, it's been cursed and it still continues to be cursed.
Okay.
So
It's like the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
right,
Right.
it's
Well,
like
it's-
there's something out there that doesn't
It's,
want that.
you
to
know what it
happen.
is? I'm going to tell you what it is. It's money.
Right.
Yeah,
Money has
well,
torn people
unfortunately, that's
apart
always-
in that situation. It's we know that. That's the
Right.
case.
Where does it? You live in Pacifica, correct?
Yeah.
But you're up in there, Pacifica, Half Moon Bay.
Yeah.
How does that community? We live in Santa Cruz. I don't. I just drive through there once in a while. How does that community view? Because that's also the community's wave too, correct?
Sure.
More
The-
than
the event.
anybody is, right? How does the community of Pacifica, Half Moon Bay view what's going on today?
Well, first, I mean that entire community from Pescadero up through Pacific, even into San Francisco, they've embraced the event. Every year it's been out there. Or really they were going to hold it. So you have to give everybody and that lives between those point A and point B the thanks, because they're all fans and they've always supported it. And they would always pretty much support anything that was however it was organized. Never a riff, but in between. Everyone was confused because everyone knows everybody, and they're like, "Wait, what's going on out there? We want to support this event,
Right.
but we just can't. How do you get behind something that's just always just such a convoluted mess?
Right.
No matter who's running it,
Well, it's so hard to pick. I mean, like the Pumpkin Festival.
right?
It runs between these dates. It
Right.
raises a lot of money. Everyone knows there's going to be traffic. It's going to be chaos.
Right.
And there's gonna be pumpkins.
Right, but it's so on the calendar.
Yeah, it's a fixed event.
Right, and the
there's
Mavs isn't
no
that it.
dynamic. It's just the dynamic of having to hold such a humongous event that it's turned into on just one special day. That one special day that we could have it.
How does
And
the
that's the hard
community? How does
part.
the community benefit from the contest now?
I think at this point, it's
Well, there's
bragging rights first and foremost. I think everyone just loves it. I mean, I go and I've been all over the world, and I hear people talk, and I just hear them talking over my shoulder, like, "Man, I live here, and we have the Mavericks event." That's the first thing I know. Yeah, we have the Golden Gate Bridge and the Mavericks event. So everyone's really proud of Mavericks and what everyone has accomplished to get it to this level. And how do they benefit? I mean, there's the Boys and Girls Club, for instance. They do some of the parking, and they've been involved in that for a while. So I mean, they
Are
can
they still
benefit.
involved in it?
I don't know exactly if they're involved in it or not. It's hard to tell because the new people they're pretty tight-lipped about
Okay.
who's doing what.
Is there a
so.
surf festival? Because I'm sure. I mean that town was inundated by people who wanted to watch the show, want to watch the surfing from the beach or from the big screen, and it drew a lot of people into Half Moon Bay where they want. I'm sure it brought a lot of money to Half Moon Bay.
Oh no, definitely,
Right.
and the
Is it-
whole surrounding area.
Is there a surf festival going to be happening?
At last count, there wasn't a surf festival, and they hadn't nailed down
Why not?
a location. I
What-
can't even tell you.
Okay.
Well,
fine.
think
I
that
don't even
it's-
know why. I mean,
Real quickly.
I don't. Why the new
think it's
guys have
another
no
logistical-
experience
Hang on.
running it.
Okay. Real quickly. That was. Oh, De La Soul texted. It's called the Wicker Expression Session.
right there, you go.
That
Wicker.
was the women. Thank you, Taylor.
Yes, she's so good. The Wicker, yeah, that was good.
Wicker Expression
I
Session.
thought that was
There it is.
amazing. Did you see their trophies? They
Yeah.
made these beautiful trophies out of like driftwood and they machined some big old steel block to look like this
Why
radar
can't we have a
station.
why can't we have a contest like that? It seems like it was.
I
a
wish
piece
we
of-
could bring it back.
Seems
to
like
that.
it's a piece of cake. It was
I
an expression
wish-
session. Everyone had fun.
Right.
We're doing the Queen of Mavericks for 2016.
Yeah.
There we go.
But interesting.
you should
thing-
invite
Are we
some
allowed?
guys
Hey,
over.
are we allowed to?
You can invite some men over.
Sure, we can do it. One of the things I wanted to mention is, I have a business here in Santa Cruz, and 300 a year round, people are saying to me, "We went and just saw Mavericks." So the gift of Mavericks to the community, it's year long.
Oh, yeah.
People are coming in June just to see the Rock,
They don't even care.
and then they
don't
stop
care if
and
it's
they
breaking
get a
or
cup
not.
of chowder.
Yep.
So the fact that it's become like one of the major tourist destinations for the town.
Oh yeah, that's
Whether
that's
there's an
our-
event
That's
or
our
not.
ninth wonder of the world. That's the way we look at it for sure.
Where the photographers like yourself, Nelly, Doug Acton, where do they lay as far as with the new contest management and so forth? Are you guys allowed to go out there and take photos or not? Or
Unless you're on their team, like you've signed on to their program, you're not going to be allowed out there. There's only a fixed amount of permits for the jet skis, and I don't know what the number is, but they have those
So-
allotted.
so
for
you
their, if
can't
you
get-
don't have one of those permits, you're not going out.
you
on that
can't
day.
go out in a boat and take photos.
You can go out in a boat, but in the newspaper I read that they were gonna block the boats from taking photos, and just if you want a photo for your newspaper or your radio station or whatever, you'd have to go through them to get it.
How many years the contest has been run? You've been out there taking pictures.
Every year. I've always been the official photographer of the event.
The official photographer.
Every event.
Are you still part of the water rescue team? Or no? Are you out on
I'm
that
not
too?
part of that program at all.
You're
I'm completely
out
out of it. Yeah, and I don't even want to go back. I won't even want any part of it.
Okay.
It's just not worth the hassle to me.
So if they run the
I want to live
contest,
my life.
if they
peacefully
run it
from
this
here on
year,
in.
you're not going to be an official photographer?
I won't be out on a jet ski at Mavericks during the contest for sure.
Let's talk about Pete. Pete wasn't invited. How do you feel? How do you feel about
A lot of
it?
tension.
Blasphemy. I mean, just to not have him be a part of anything that goes on at Mavericks for whatever the reason, it's just, it's incomprehensible to me. I just can't even imagine him not being part of that event. Like I said, he's been a leader out at Mavericks for so long.
Right.
I mean, like mentoring younger surfers, like keeping the lineup like under control when it starts getting a little surly. I mean, the guy he was just such a part. And not to mention, he was one of the worldwide ambassadors of Mavericks.
I was
Like,
shocked.
he kept it on the map.
How do you think he feels?
Well, I know how he feels, and he feels bad. I mean, that's his spot. That's Peter Mel he's Mavericks. I
Well,
mean,
there was some controversy with him working for the other team.
right.
He's involved in the world tour. Personally, the way I looked at it was invite him so he can say whether he can or cannot go. Don't do. This is my take on it. Don't
Uninvite him.
not invite him.
Right.
Thinking that he's going to say no, or there's some political motivation for not inviting him. I personally, knowing Peter since he was 8 years old, I've met him. I was shocked and I was angry that he wasn't
I
invited.
can't imagine that any outfit, whatever their reason was, would not want him as part of their event, because he would embrace it, he would surf it, he would save his opinions of it for another time and another place. He deserves to be in it. That's all. I mean, that's the only thing he can.
Well, he won the previous year. That's like the
Right,
winner of the
he's the
Daytona
champ.
500, not allowed to come back the next year.
Do you think if Titans and Mavericks have secured a 5-year permit do you think that they're going to learn things and that it's going to get better, or do you think because of the history of Mavericks and the sponsorship has been it's been a disaster from the get-go, do you think it's just going to end up being a continued disaster, or do you think these people are going to learn from the history of it and make it a really true wonderful event? Or I know they want to make it like a Super Bowl of surfing, a big huge event. Do you think it'll end up like that?
My personal opinion is I hope it doesn't end up like that. I
Okay.
don't think it can handle it. I mean, we've already proven that. It's just you can't have spectators go watch it. There's so many things that you can't have that you would need in an event that big, and it's not going to happen there. And it's going to be a logistical mess. Are they going to do a good job? And we'll find out. I mean, they have the permit now, and the ball's in their court. It's theirs to lose now. So
they have
I
five,
hope
they have
they
5
do it.
more years.
I don't think even all the photographers that are not going to be allowed to shoot out there, nobody wants that event to not go off. We want to see it. We love it. We celebrate it. We're
Public
proud of
loves it.
Mavericks. Right. I mean, it's in our blood. I mean, we love it that much. We want to see it. So what? We're not going to be in it. Who cares? Are we going to be out there anyway? We'll be out there.
Right.
No one's going to keep us from being out there. And we'll support it, and because we're supporting our surfers or our friends. Like are some of our best friends.
Well, I think that's a good position to take. I mean, I think that's the bottom line. It's our
Right.
friends. It's your spot, and we want those guys to. But and let's take it full circle. I don't. Are there sponsors up for the event right now?
I don't know.
They I looked at their website
Well,
before
you
I
got
came
the-
down.
you
I
got
haven't
the-
seen anything.
The Aquarium, Monterey Bay Aquarium, apparently is a sponsor.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think they're more of a partner. I don't know what their
Are they?
sponsorship level
Okay.
is. They may. I don't know.
It's
I don't know. The way people categorize things. I
Okay.
don't know how it.
If anybody out there's got a question tonight in
If
regards
anybody
to
knows if they have sponsors.
Yeah, if anybody got a question tonight for Frank, or talk about the new Mavericks setup with the Titans and Mavericks and the cartel management, please give us a call, 831-479-1080 right now. I'm giving away something free.
I love it.
Love free.
Free is a great word.
Frank, do you like free?
I didn't want to give away one of my kids.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get my nerves.
Which one should we
tonight.
give away?
The one with the
The
one with
blonde?
the nose and
The
the,
blonde
and the
one?
big, and the big eyebrows.
Okay, we'll give away him along with
Nobody's gonna call in
His
now.
school tuition.
Yeah.
That goes with it.
yeah. So you get a kid and you get free coffee. Caller number 3, call in. People's Coffee and Live Oak is serving hands down the best coffee in town. Is giving away free coffee on the Off the Lip radio show. The third caller to dial 831-479-1080 gets a gift certificate and a kid for $20 worth of coffee. So you get the kid and the free coffee. 831-479-1080. This is Neil and TC with the Off the Lip radio show, broadcasting from Santa Cruz, California. We'll be right back on this very short break. Don't go away.
Hi, this is Tim Loslot, head golf professional at De La Viega Golf Course. I want to welcome all golfers throughout Santa Cruz County to join us for our 2015 Firecracker Sale, July 1st through July 5th. And don't forget to sign up for the 2015 Santa Cruz City Amateur. The dates for the City Amateur this year are Saturday, August 8th and Sunday, August 9th. Don't forget to secure your entry to get into this prestigious event. Lastly, don't hesitate to visit the De La Viega Disc Golf Shop, located right behind De La Viega Golf Course on Upper Park Road. You can always find us at delaviegagolf.com.
This is Brother Timmy,
And Cleo from Cleo's Corner at Pono Hawaiian Grill.
featuring wraps, teriyaki bowls, plate lunches, amazing and creative salads, vegetarian and gluten-free options, and over 20 different types of poke, all made to order, fast, fresh, and healthy. And what's your favorite, Khalil?
The chicken fingers.
Located at 120 Union Street in downtown Santa Cruz. Call us for takeout at 831-426-PONO, or check us out on the web at ponohawaiiangrill.com. We put the Ono in Pono. Yee-hoo.
Hi, this is Steve Pereira, the beach guy at Bailey Properties in Santa Cruz, California. My wife Diane and I are experienced realtors who know and live at the beach, and we've been bringing the coast home to you since 1982. We'd love to help you sell or buy your slice of paradise here on the Santa Cruz coast. Please give the beach guy a call at 831-818-7064, or give Mrs. Beach Guy a call at 831-818-5939. Also, please drop into our website at lifesabeach.com and check out our available coastal properties. Remember, no one knows the turf. Near the surf, better. Come see our newest listing this weekend from 1 to 4 p.m. at 423 37th Avenue at Breakers Beach in Pleasure Point, Santa Cruz, California. Cowabunga.
Stay warm in the fog, comfortable in the sun, and ready for your surf session with Ventana Surfboards and Supplies, environmentally responsible apparel and surf supplies. Ventana's super soft shirts and hoodies made from recycled plastic and organic cotton, natural surf wax formulated for Santa Cruz's cold water, unique wooden surf supplies, and more are loved by adventurers everywhere. For the largest Ventana selection, visit New Leaf Community Market Capitola on 41st Avenue and Burdell's on Pacific Avenue in downtown Santa Cruz. Ventana Surfboards and Supplies. Craftsmanship, responsibility, adventure.
Hey, it's Julie from Toyota and Sign of Santa Cruz. I want to introduce you to our new slogan. Why drive over the hill when the big store is right next door? The all-new Toyota Santa Cruz. You have to come check out this dealership. It is amazing. 50,000 square feet of state-of-the-art service and sales. Over 500 new, used, and certified pre-owned cars and trucks. And our number one commitment is to save you time and money. And you know what else we're proud of? Our customer service. And that's why you guys keep coming back. We take care of our customers. So get down there, check out the dealership, buy a car or a truck, make me happy, and have a great day.
And we're back with the Off the Lip Radio Show tonight here on KSCO, streaming live on SantaCruzWaves.com. Tomorrow you can catch the podcast on OffTheLipRadio.com or on iTunes or TuneIn Radio.
Or YouTube.
Oh, tonight, or after the show, if you want to watch it again.
Yep.
See our handsome guest here tonight, Mr. Frank Quirarte, along with, did we give away the cake? By the way, Ryan, you won the coffee and a kid.
Nice job, Ryan.
Just make him shower every other weekend.
Yeah, and pay his tuition.
Right.
You'll be fine.
High school and college.
We're tweeting. We're on Instagram. Off the Radio Show. here tonight with Mr. Frank Quirarte. We're going to leave Mavericks for a second. We kind of beaten that to death for a second. And I'm going to go back, and I remember a few years ago, you went out to New Orleans to take care or take part in the rescue of what was going on after Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah,
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, no, I mean, we were...
Do you just show up?
Like everybody else, we were watching it on the news, and my roommate at the time, he was watching us, and he goes, you guys would be great out there on your jet skis. Like, you could just go up and down the streets and do rescue. I'm like, yeah, we could, totally. No sooner were we done that conversation, Bill Sharp from the Double XL calls me up. He's like, you're on a plane tomorrow morning. You know, we got Ford Motor Company had trucks waiting for us. Billabong, who's been, great to me Billabong's been supporting me for 15 or 16 years. Like,
awesome.
Just unreal, and to be a part of a surf company for that long is like unreal, like to be a part of that kind of crew. So they've done a lot for me. So Yamaha had 4 jet skis. We went down there. Sean Laudio, K38, master water woman herself.
Yep.
And Matt George, Matt. Sam's brother. We all met up and we linked. We got those jet skis from one of the local Yamaha shops, and we just drove right in town.
And what kind of rescue did you do?
What we did is we drove in. The place looks like a nuclear bomb went off, so we're just weaving our way, and the military and all the.
So did you just did you have a plan or just?
We did not have a plan.
Okay.
We're gonna go up and down streets.
We were driving in, right? We didn't know. We just thought we could help. So. We got in there and we went to the main operations center, which was the New Orleans Saints practice center. And they have a big indoor football stadium. We just drove in, and the connection was Sean Laudio knew some of the fire captains on the peninsula, and they were like, yeah, come down, bring your guys. So we were invited down. We're the only civilian rescue team to be part of the main operation. And what we did is we had 2 trucks and 2 sets of skis, and we would just follow the Army guys and the fire department, and we just go in. They have it all. Every morning there's a briefing where different sets of groups are going to go, and we were assigned to this group, and we just tag along right behind their convoy, go up to an empty overpass that just sunk into the water, and everyone would start launching boats and jet skis, and did this like, we don't even know what you guys can do, because we were the only jet ski team. We were the first jet ski team to be part of it, so they didn't even know. They're like, go do it.
So what type of rescues were you doing?
Human? Pets?
No, we're human.
Right.
We would just drive up and down the streets, and they're like, well, we were asking the question, like, how will they know? Because a lot of people we were in the 9th Ward, where it really got hit hard and really deep water up to the eaves, right? People were in their eaves
Attics,
in their
right?
house, and, down there, the weather in the summertime's already unbearable, let alone to be stuck in an attic. Oh, my God, it's unbearable. So they wouldn't even know you're out there. So we just would find some pots and pans floating in the water, and we're banging pots and pans, just cruising up these streets, just yelling out, you need some help, you need some help. Or if there were some other people already doing a rescue and they couldn't get their boats in, we would go in there and make it really easy. So
How many people
was
did you think?
It was so fluid the way our team just kind of immersed herself into the rescue, because the jet skis in that arena were perfect. They were you could drive right up to the front door.
No
Just
propellers.
right out. Yeah, no propellers, no nothing to hang up. People just step out of their house right onto the jet ski. Like, that was that easy.
And how many people did you rescue?
Oh man, I think me and Bill, we went rogue at a certain point. We just were just like, we were rescuing everybody. We just went from just operation to operation. I think, we did in a week or so, probably 30, 40 people.
What kind of ground did you cover? Like 10 miles, or was it?
Yeah, we went to a couple different spots,
Right.
but I think there was a couple times we went out pretty far.
Right.
Like we were actually going out. The Army commander had sent us out. Like, you need to go out there. There's an evac out there, and Bill would have his map out, and we would go. And we're thinking we're just gonna haul ass out there, and all of a sudden we hit some train tracks. Over the train tracks we go.
Right.
It was amazing. So I think that one was maybe 10 miles out. And then the ones you couldn't get to, they'd load it on the Chinook helicopters and put the boats and the jet skis onto the Chinooks and launch you out to like a remote area and drop you down, and you'd get out and you'd go do your thing. They come back and get you.
Yeah.
Very rewarding trip, I'm sure.
Oh my God, I can't even put it and describe it in words. It was just amazing.
The look on people's faces when you're rescuing them.
That alone, but not to mention the devastation and the dynamics of the whole rescue.
Let's talk about your photography. you're still passionate about it as from the day you're beginning?
iPhone's
the iPhone's in.
They're awesome, huh?
Life case and an iPhone. You can do it. You can get it all done with that.
What are you using out there at Mavs, for example? What type of equipment are you using?
Right now, I'm using the
using the iPhone.
I do that. I do actually selfies.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's where we're at now. Canon 7D Mark II, the new Canon.
Yeah.
That's what I like because Canon makes a beautiful camera. They water seal it. They make it for sports photographers that get wet, and it's a perfect camera for out there. It's super durable. You can take a beating. When you do a rescue, you don't have time to like put it away in a backpack. So what you do is most jet skis, you open up the front. There's a front compartment. Just make a little nest right in there, and a wipeout happens. Just chuck that, open the thing, chuck the camera in there because I know it's going to be just fall on this pillow of towels or whatever,
right?
And close it up, and it gets wet every once in a while, but just wipe it off.
An interesting photography fact is Flame, famous photographer.
Yep, one of my mentors.
He recently was quoted as saying, and it was in a video, that the digital camera ruined photography.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that? I mean, you're a photographer.
I don't think it ruined the actual photography. I think it almost made it better because it did ruin the photographer as far as like a career. If you wanted to ever have a career in photography, yeah.
I guess that's his point.
I was just talking to a long-time photographer, like AP photographer, and he's like, I could barely even make my living anymore.
Let me ask you a personal question. Not personal as far as I'm concerned, but like,
what are you doing tonight?
No, here we go. I want to know, like, we see Mavericks on TV. I've seen it from the cliff. What don't people see or perhaps hear or feel when you're out there and you see that wave fold and crash? Is it
you get a 40-foot wave or even a 50-foot wave go by you, and it creates its own weather pattern, basically. Like this wave is crashing down, or it's coming like a big set's rolling through, and all of a sudden you have a perfectly calm moment turn into like a 30-mile gust of wind coming right at you, being pushed from the wave, right? And like you said, what you don't see, and you see the birds flying, the updrafts from it, and the sea life and stuff, and the wave will break and the mist will come over. You're in the middle of a rainstorm with a rainbow coming through the whole, through the sunshine, and it's just, you can't describe it. And the thunder of those waves breaking, especially if you get one or two, like right after, like a really tight interval.
Real quick question before we get a break: will the next contest, whenever that may be, will you be able to shoot it from the cliff? Daly wants to know.
Is the cliff
going to be available?
The cliff is never. It's not even available even on a non-contest day.
Okay. Listen to the Off the Air Radio Show. Chris, we are going to go to a break. He's ready to go.
We're ready.
Here tonight with my co-host, Mr. Terry Campion.
Thank you very much.
Your host tonight is Neil Perlberg, here today with Chad, taking care of our live stream. This is the Off the Air Radio Show with our guest tonight. Very honored guest to have in studio, Mr. Frank Quirarte. Now only with one kid. Be right back after this very short break. Don't go away.
Hi, this is Jeff Warnerhalter from North Bay Ford. Proud to sponsor the Off the Radio Show. We're here to support the local surf community with a full inventory of trucks, hybrids, and plug-in hybrids. Come see why the F-150 has been the best-selling vehicle for 39 years. We have the perfect surf vehicle in stock, the new 2015 Ford Transit van. We have a model that will fit your needs. Come to the no-hassle, easy place to buy a car. No stress, no drama. We make it easy for everybody. We're locally owned, locally operated. North Bay Ford at 1999 SoCal Avenue or www.northbayford.com.
Chill Out Cafe on 41st Avenue, Santa Cruz is not just a block from some of the world's best surf, but it is also where you can go relax and order the tastiest grub before and after your sesh. Plump burritos, fresh salads, sky-high sandwiches, and a superb selection of hot and cold drinks. They have something for you. Go to chilloutcafesantacruz.com to view their menu, and to place your order to go, call 831-477-0543. Chill Out Cafe, where they roll the fatties.
Hey, this is Jimbo Phillips, Santa Cruz artist. I'm here with my son Colby to tell you about our stickers.
Stickers?
Yeah, they're for sale at Santa Cruz Boardroom.
The boardroom?
And made in Santa Cruz on the wharf and at JimboPhillips.com.
Right, Colby?
Yeah! So get some and stick 'em.
Stick 'em!
Yeah! Stick 'em everywhere. Skateboard, surfboard, on your car, and have fun, kids. Yeah!
Stickers, yeah! Yeah!
Makes me laugh every time.
Stick them anywhere. Get your stickers at the boardroom.
Oh, man.
Boardroom's been busy, right, TC?
Cranking back to school, yeah.
That's right. You need your back to school stuff. Oh, by the way, if you need your back to school stuff, go to Freeline Surf Shop. Oh,
Right next door.
The Mel family, who do support the Off the Radio Show religiously.
It's been real busy on the block. It's been great. John Mel's back from his trip. He said it was
John Mel's
awesome.
back. Looks relaxed.
He does look relaxed.
You know what he wants to do?
Play poker.
Poker night.
I know. He said it today. He's like,
Yeah.
when's the poker night?
He wants that trophy back,
He
TC.
does. I know.
Let's go.
Adam-
Get some beers, get some moonshine, play some poker.
It took us like four
You know what?
four nights to get
Frank,
that
you play
damn trophy.
poker?
I
Yeah, that means
dabbled in
yeah.
it.
That means yes. As soon as they stutter, you know they do.
He'll take all of our money for sure. No, poker night's coming up, and yeah, Freeline's been busy. John Mel's back. They're full of great stuff.
Check
Yeah.
out our Facebook page. Check out the Freeline versus the Boardroom Poker Night.
Yeah.
Here tonight with our guest, Mr. Frank Quirarte. Frank, I want to ask you, how has Mavericks changed from when it was back then, when you first went out there, to how it is today?
The surfing, actually the experience has not changed at all. Like being out there, we're the first ones out there. We were the first ones out before. We're the first ones out now. There's just a quiet to it, you know. There's a few couple surfers out, and there's nothing like it. There's no experience ever in the world that you could actually, compare it to.
Right.
And it has never changed and
Right.
never will. It's just such an amazing experience to think about all the people in the world, and there's only 2 or 3 of us sitting out here watching this happen right now.
How has the surfing changed? I mean, from when you first started watching Richie Schmidt, Tom Powers, and the boys, to how it is today. Are they deeper and stronger? And
the equipment has changed. Smaller boards, more high performance boards.
Safer wetsuits.
Safer wetsuits. Even the level of athlete. The athletes are no longer like love them to death. Ross Clark Jones catches a bomb, gets on a boat, and lights up a cigarette. It's just not. It's not that type of athlete anymore. It's a real dedicated, true athlete that's out there, like the A-team,
Right.
the Twiggies, the Greg Longs, Skin Dog, Ryan Augustine. These guys are, they're putting the time and effort into their fitness and their training to surf better, and survive more.
Yeah.
That's
well,
the
if you want,
difference.
it's more competitive.
Yeah, and the competitive aspect too. But you find that a lot of these guys, the competitions are great, but they're not a humongous part of their big wave experience. They got the drive, and they just because we know them, they just surf it because that's what they do. That's what they do. I mean, that's their calling, and that's what they're going to do.
If there's no contest, they're still going to be out there every time there's
right.
a swell.
Mavericks the contest is one day.
Right.
Mavericks and the whole entire big wave season now rolls all the way throughout the year, and you could catch every wave ridden on a Billabong Double XL.
Going along with Neil's question, how about the changes since the first contest to today?
Yeah, no, amazing. Like I said, I think we touched on it earlier before, like 5 boats, 50 boats. Live webcast, no webcast to live, streaming webcast.
With millions of people watching.
Yeah, everyone's interested in it.
What do you when 5 years from now you come back on the show? What would you hope to have seen happen at Mavs over the next 5 years, or 5 years from now?
I would hope to see the level of surfing go up, the level of a commitment to safety by all involved, to a little bit more of a commitment. Like if you're gonna hold an event and you're gonna lure people in with their trial events and all these other sorts of events, let's get a bigger and better commitment to safety. Let's get a more organized, cohesive volunteer rescue team supported by not only the event organizer or anybody, but the local the local sheriffs and fire departments and
everybody.
Yeah,
it's scary. I mean, we've had tragedy at Mavericks.
We do, and we're going to have tragedy in big wave surfing. It's just a given. It doesn't. It's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
I mean, look at Sion. He was a seasoned athlete, and it took him down. I mean, it's just
well. And what scares me about Mavs is that as you get 70 people out,
right,
the ones who maybe shouldn't be there are maybe going to take off on waves that shouldn't be ridden.
And you have 70 people. There's no room, and just a regular surf lineup. You're shoulder to shoulder. You don't want to be shoulder to shoulder with people when you're taking off on a 40-foot wave.
We'll take one quick phone call before the end of the show. This is Frog from Santa Cruz. Frog, you got a quick question because the end of the show is about to. We're on the back 9 here.
Frank is probably one of the most under-recognized guys, just complete legend.
Oh, is on the phone.
Oh,
more live than anybody out there. I mean, just the amount of people he's saved over the years is, I mean, he doesn't get any credit for the amount of lives that he's saved. I mean, he's plucked guys out of the rocks so many times. It's unbelievable.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to make me cry? That's wrong.
He's right there. When guys pop up after getting blown up on a 50-footer, he's right there plucking them out of the zone. And I mean, honestly, it's just amazing what he does. He's plucked me out before on definitely my gnarliest wipeout I've ever had. It was a left-hander, and not too many people see you over on the left, so he was right there instantly, and I was down for a long time. He was right there with the rescue board, and bam, he was on it. I mean, like clockwork.
Yeah, we had to get you home. You have too many mouths to feed.
Hey, Osh, thanks, buddy.
That's a nice call, Osh. Good job.
That's great. You told everyone
Love you,
about
man.
it. Thanks, Osh. Appreciate you giving us the call. Frank, I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Oh, my God. Thank you guys for having us.
We got to have you come back because there's way more to tell.
Well, I think that phone call summed it up. There's a lot of other people that probably would like to thank you as well, just based on that conversation.
Right. Next week's show coming on, C.J. Nelson.
Should be fun.
One of the world's top longboarders, along with one of the world's top up-and-coming longboarders, young Riley Stone.
And he is blowing up.
Killing it.
Killing it, yeah.
In Japan,
how old is he, 16?
16, the
wow.
nicest young man. Killing it.
And CJ Prodigy.
CJ Prodigy. So CJ Nelson's coming on the show next week, and the following week, great show in store. Mr. Brian Stowe is coming on the radio show here on August 25th. That's going to be a great show.
Fantastic.
So next week we've got CJ. Following week we've got Brian Stowe. Brian Stowe wants to rock and roll, man. He wants loud music, AC/DC. He wants to have some fun.
I can't wait.
Coming on the Upgrade Radio Show to have some fun. Frank, thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
Kids, thank you. Chad, thank you. Chris, thank you. My sponsors of the Upgrade Radio Show, thank you. And thank you to KSCO. See you next week with another show. Good night, all.
Your source for news, sports, traffic, and weather. AM 1080, KSCO, Santa Cruz.
News, I'm Bill Whitney. Hillary Clinton